In this video, I'd like to talk very briefly about two things. One is the software for the first semester, the Python software, and the second is the recommended textbook that we suggest to you and which may be useful to run in parallel. Let's start with the software. The software can be found at www.python.org, and you need to ensure that you install a version which is greater than version 3 point something, not a version smaller than 3. So, for example, the latest is 3.90. That's the one to look for. We don't recommend to use older versions beginning with 2 because you will find your code will perform and behave differently and in some cases won't work. We also recommend, when you actually want to type your code in, to use a piece of software called Pyzo, P-Y-Z-O. You can download it for free for Windows, Mac or Linux. And we would recommend that you download it and play with it. Now, there are two schools of thought about what environment you should use to write your code. We've opted for the argument with Python that the simplest starting point for you is where essentially you write in text and you execute it. It doesn't complicate, the environment doesn't complicate anything. It doesn't necessarily even give you that much support, because early on in your study, we want to encourage you to spot your typos and your errors rather than rely on a piece of software. As you move through the year, what you will find is that there are different pieces of software recommended. And certainly in the second year, you will find that you'll be using more advanced pieces of software to help you code. But the idea is that we want you to learn from scratch, from the base upwards. So Pyzo is our recommended. See the lecture notes for more details. In terms of a recommended book, there is a Python Programming and Introduction to Computer Science. It's the 3rd edition by John Zell. It's around £30 to £45 if you do wish to purchase it. There are copies in the library. What we would recommend is, if you find that you've got some Python experience or you find you want something to supplement and support your study, having access and having this book and working through it in parallel can enhance your study enormously. Please do not get the first edition of the book. The second edition we think is broadly not going to be a problem. The 3rd edition is the current one and the one that we recommend. Thank you.